Hello and welcome to One Take. I'm Dale Kirshner. Today I'm talking with Bobby Tarnowski, who leads a group of 10 Mathnasium franchises serving about 600 kids in the northern and southern areas of the Twin Cities. Bobby, welcome to One Take.
Thank you very much, Dale.
Bobby, just tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about Mathnasium.
Well, Mathnasium is a franchise math learning center. And we work with students 1st through 12th grade, and our goal really is to change lives through math. We believe that every kid can do better in math than they can do in school just simply because we have a different model and we emphasize different things. We're trying to establish foundations and true understanding, not just memorization. And we work with kids one-on-one in a much safer and challenging environment for them. So we just have a great time helping kids reach their real potential in math.
What I love about it the most is it's applied math. I mean, it actually is, you actually bring interest to something that so many kids find just so boring because it's all about memorization. And it's like, I'm never going to use this stuff. And you really bring it to life. And so I thank you for what you're doing. I wish I would have known about you probably 10 to 15 years earlier, because I know at least one or two of my kids who could have benefited from that. So it's great that you're out there.
Oh, thanks. I understand that. We hear that a lot. People say, I wish I had a nickel, or for every time someone said, I wish you were around when I was a kid or when my kids were younger. So
yeah.
But for those that are listening, hopefully it's not too late for some of theirs or someone that they care for to impact.
Right. And then one of the things before we jump into some other questions is, you mentioned the other day that you're looking for business leaders who might be interested in telling kids and others about how they apply math in some very interesting jobs.
Yeah, that's right, Dale. Because we're trying to help inspire kids what they're going to do with math, you know, in my view, it's be good at math, do good with it. We're trying to help create opportunities for them to understand how math is used all around them and in their communities and wherever, really. So yeah, we generally have tried to partner with businesses in various ways to help bring that in, so whether it's an online interview with a business owner or leader to explain how they use math to set themselves apart and do great in their business, or actually even sometimes an in-center presentation or an on-site presentation where we get to go and directly hear from them about how they're using math and some of the cool things we're doing. We think that's really inspiring for the kids, and that's a big part of helping them stay focused and get excited again what they're going to be able to do someday. And we've even looked at some partnerships with businesses. As a matter of fact, just today, Dale, I got an email with Mathnasium is entering into some employer sponsorships where we're partnering with larger businesses to provide our services and at some discount prices as an employee benefit. So if any owner is listening and interested in any of that, would love to talk to them about it.
Well, that's awesome, and I don't want people to think I'm advertising for you, but
keep that in mind.
Tell them your phone number, because if anybody heard something here and they want to contact you, how do they reach you?
Sure. Well, the easiest way is our general phone number, and my wife will answer that. It's a family business. Is 763-269-6969.
Okay.
763-269-6969.
Okay, thanks. Now, one of the reasons why I looked forward to talking with you today was you have a different kind of business. I mean, you know, I love talking with all the different CEOs out there, but you have 65 to 70 people who are working through your Mathnasiums. How have they been affected by the COVID-19 recession, and how have you had to change your leadership to kind of keep things going?
Well, we've had to change a lot, Dale. The parents and children as well as our staff. At first, we were shut down by the order. Fortunately, Mathnasium had an online alternative that was, in the works. And Mathnasium was able to fast track that and the final development and accelerate the rollout across all the U.S. centers, so that by April, we had an online instructional method to replace what we normally would do in center face-to-face, live face-to-face. Even our online system, though, is face-to-face, one-on-one. It's almost an identical experience as to our in-center program. So it's really great in that regard. It's even a very pencil and paper based, which is an aspect that I love about our program. Our instructors were able to then be able to use that from home, and they still are able to do that. So now we just have the option of providing our service and our instruction for families in center or online, and we have that flexibility to offer for our staff to work from home or also in our centers.
I know that that's been a godsend, but at the same time, you had a drop in business too, correct? Because a lot of people see the benefit of actual hands-on being with somebody in a facility. So how much of an impact have you seen with your business, and is that starting to kind of come back up again now?
We initially, Dale, suffered probably a loss of 30 to 40% of our business. Again, we were shut down for 3 weeks before we could do anything. And even when we first ramped up the online method or the online system, it wasn't honestly that great. It was a lot of troubles, and people that have to deal with system startups might get that. But it took us another month to really get the bugs worked out. So we lost a lot of business, and it was just a chaotic, stressful time for people in general. So it was tough, but we're able to take advantage of some of the SBA financing, and we've made it this far. And actually, yes, this August and September, we're starting to see a resurgence of interest and leads, much greater than normal this time of year, actually. And I think that's in large part because of parents recognizing that their students didn't get great math education toward the end of the year, and they're worried about what it's going to be like this year. There's a lot of uncertainty and change in the current school arrangement. So we offer a really competitive product. We have a great reputation for what we do, and as people recognize that, they're starting to make the call.
Yep. And have you had to change your marketing approach at all, or anything like that? I think you just mentioned the program that Mathnasium is doing with sponsors through different years, but anything else that you've had to adjust?
Well, from an advertising standpoint, we've really, I think, always been trying to be very relational. And because I think ours is a relational business, even first and foremost, we're about supporting that student and having a relationship with them. Like, they don't care how much we know until they know how much we care, right? So that we try to keep that in mind in our marketing as well, and approach a lot of it from a relational standpoint with various groups. But we've maintained a lot of our traditional marketing, tried to emphasize a little bit more of the online social marketing as a result. And then again, that new program, the employer benefit component that Mathnasium is just launched today. And just a few weeks ago, they launched a similar, it's actually a new business type for us. We'll be providing distance learning support in our centers. So it's an opportunity for parents to drop their kids off for 3 or 4 hours in the morning or the afternoon, and know that we will be there to supervise their students' online learning. We won't be teaching and facilitating, but we'll be there supervising it so the parents can concentrate on their work without distraction, and without needing to worry that their kids are being properly completing and doing the work that they're supposed to do. So it's another great opportunity for us, and that's just launching again next week with the school year. Most of the schools finally opening up.
Okay, sounds good. And then what hasn't worked well? What's still just you're stuck with it, and you're still trying to figure it out before the end of the year?
I think that some of the financials have changed a little bit, Dale. We've finances are tough for everybody, right? And I mentioned you the other day. I'm just grateful we can do any business. I'm glad we're not a restaurant, and my heart and prayers out to restaurant owners and salon owners. But our business model did change, and it's been a less effective or a less efficient, not effective, but a less efficient teaching model, teaching online. And we can only teach now at 50% capacity in center. So we're having different capacity constraints there and juggling schedules. So it's really more about trying to come to terms with how to deal with that change in our cost structure. The instruction ends up all of our labor costs end up being 40+% of what we do. So that changes, as well as changes just in minimum wage and that kind of thing, can have a pretty big impact on what we do. So we're trying to get our arms around that.
Okay. That leads to the question of how are you planning for 2021? Normally we have a little bit more stability as we plan for the next year. How are you doing it for 2021?
Well, we're continuing to do everything we can do, first of all, and always focus on providing outstanding learning experiences for the kids. So our instructor training and our time with the kids, we don't want to, I mentioned earlier about our labor cost challenges. We're not going to deal with that by shortchanging the kids. So we want to make sure we're good there. And inevitably we will, I'm sure, have some price increase. We're actually something I'm more interested in is actually offering different types of packages for people, that, as well as some finance options that we really didn't put together in the past. So we have some options now for parents to be able to take advantage of, hopefully in the end being able to make this a possibility for even more parents to help their families that might not have considered it in the past.
Sounds good. And Bobby, is there a question I should have asked you today that I didn't ask?
Well, yes, a lot of great questions. Again, particularly if someone is interested in finding out or being involved in any way and helping reach kids with a message about how math is used in the real world, we would love that. But what sets us apart, if I can, again, I don't want to make it too salesy, but I would love for people to know that, math is important, and it really opens up so many doors for people. And what we do, it's not just about helping kids get a better education. It's about helping set them up for a better life and a better future. So there's so many quality of life metrics that are improved by kids that get math, or people that are good at math. And it's not just the ability to compute, it's the ability to reason and analyze and problem solve and make better decisions. Here's so many stories, business stories, that, people are basically saying they wish people were better at math. And we get that. So that's really what we're out to do. And there's a huge need for that. Math, in general, I mentioned earlier our design. I think I mentioned, we have a different design about how we go about teaching math. And because of that design, we can help kids, every kid, reach their potential. And this is important because in general, with the traditional school design, where a student's in a big group, one of 30, 40 kids, most kids, 60% of kids, fail to reach a level of proficiency by the time they graduate. 6 out of 10 kids are not proficient in math when they graduate. We're trying to take kids way beyond that, take them way beyond memorization and facts and tricks, and give them to true understanding and mastery, and ultimately confidence and being inspired about their abilities in math and what they're going to get to do with it. So
yep.
If that's what we're that's what we're really about.
Yeah, and I think it's fantastic. You also work with junior achievement. You work with teachers. There's a lot of all of that goes into this. And the other side of things that I think are really important to talk about with people is just the ability to personally financially plan. And so I think those are all good. We're out of time today. I'd like to talk even more about this. But Bobby, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity. I love what we're doing, and I'm just grateful to have this chance to tell you about it. Thank you.
Thanks. And I want to thank our sponsor, the Platinum Group, which for 40 years has helped companies during turbulent times such as these. If your company can use some help or just a second opinion, you can learn more about the Platinum Group at theplatinumgrp.com or by calling 952-829-5700. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. We'll see you next time on One Take.